Warning. The following video is for entertainment and purposes only. A sense of humor is required beyond this point. Dude and Dude are not professionals yet, so any attempt to copy them in any way would be completely stupid. Seriously, they have no idea what they're doing. Well, I can't say I didn't warn you. Cheers, dudes!
That's Dude.
That's Dude.
And welcome to Lazyboys Night.
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting for that. Ooh, look at the color on this thing. That's a dark beer. This is the Three Threads Porter by Magnotta Brewery.
Oh, is it a porter?
It is a porter.
Nice.
I like porters. We don't have them often. We usually wind up with stouts rather than porters.
I'm trying to remember what was the last porter we had, but I remember we really enjoyed it.
I usually do.
I'm trying to
remember. They're usually meant to be savored rather than power drank.
Yes. I really enjoyed it.
Yes. That means they're usually very flavorful. So.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
That smells good.
Damn.
Watch this and then we'll let you know all about it.
Yeah, cheers.
It's just two guys talking. There they go again and saying anything. Talking about nothing. Nothing new to say. Talking anyway. So much to review. So let's have a cold brew. A cold brew. Everybody's talking. It's not anything. No one's listening. Talking about nothing. They're all yammering. I can't hear a thing. Nothing I can do. So let's have one more brew. One more brew.
Ready?
That's awesome.
You know
Does that
what?
have a little coffee?
It's got a little hint of it.
Yeah. There's a little...
So I like because you taste it and the flavors don't all come in right away. They come in stages, but it's not overpowering. Sometimes they're heavy. This is not particularly heavy. This is nice. But yeah,
nice.
I really taste the coffee in this. You can smell it too. Once I've tasted it, it seems like the aroma is more potent now.
Okay, this type of beer we haven't had very often, but this is almost like a dessert beer.
You know what? Pecan pie.
Yeah.
Have this with pecan pie.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh. So well done, Magnotta Brewery. This is really nice.
Where are they from? Yeah, I called it.
I didn't bring my glasses this week. They're from...
It's okay. It's right there. Read it, folks. We'll find out after. No,
I can see it's written here, but I can't see what it says.
Shut up. Don't add me into your eye issues.
Anyways, this is
That's beautiful.
It's a complex beer.
Good choice.
Good
Damn,
choice.
son.
Yeah, the good one, dude. But yeah, this totally. I would go for a slice of pecan pie with this right now.
Yeah.
Oh, or is it pecan pie?
Depends where you're from. Dialect.
Tato pecan.
Tato pecan. Oh, pecan.
All right.
Tato pecan.
So.
Oh, I'm almost... Yeah, this is really good.
So what are we talking about this week, dude?
Okay, so...
Oh, this chair is squeaky, right?
It is very squeaky.
Really?
I told you,
You
we
gotta
gotta
get
need
the
a chair guy.
Yeah, okay.
We need the chair guy to come. We'll get the chair guy in. So, during our New Year's episode.
The New Year's Eve or the first of the New Year?
No, New Year's Eve episode.
Okay.
So our New Year's Eve episode.
The clip show.
The clip show, we did, a whole bunch. And one of the clips was the one with Betty White, Norm Macdonald.
Our salute to fallen heroes of 2020.
And once we were done with that clip, we rolled different people in the entertainment industry that have passed away in 2022. And we received a few comments, and then I went back and I looked at it, and it's like, okay, I can see where the comments came from, that we rolled it maybe a little bit too fast.
Oh, whoosh, this is bad.
But in context, I'm not throwing this back to you, dude. You did an awesome job with the episode. It did run a little bit longer, like almost double what you usually
It was a
do.
long episode, and we paused for like
But-
3 seconds to say, here's some names.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. So
that being said, I thought it would be a good idea, and I pitched it, and then dude thought it was a great idea, and then I pitched it to you, and you were all into it. We should revisit that.
some of the names.
Scroll it.
First of all,
scroll
here
it
are
again.
all of them.
Yeah, at a slower pace so you can actually read.
Now,
all the
as
names.
they're going by
You
here
can
right
hear
now, you
yeah.
can still see
There
them.
they are.
We're not going to talk about all of them, but
No.
there are some names here worth highlighting.
Well, worth for us,
Yes.
right? So what we did is essentially, when it just went through, I had names. I'm like, oh, I remember that person passing away, and then I remembered how I felt about it and the impact this person had in my life, or how they entertained me. And then we started talking about how the fact that, there's quite a few people on the list that had an impact in our lives for whatever amount of time. And I thought it was apropos to be able to bring it back up like we did last year and just have a proper conversation, and just to, because they did have certain people on that list really did have an impact. As we're fully aware of everybody that's on the list and what they've done, but there are those special people that impacted us specifically.
So
right?
here is our salute to our fallen
let's do the
heroes.
salute.
Sorry, our salute to fallen heroes of 2022.
Salute.
Now, I've got an abridged version of the list here because my memory's short. So, top of the list, and this is in chronological order from passing. So we're not giving importance.
It's not important. It's not like a top 10
It's
list.
who died first. and-
Exactly. So who left us first?
On the list that had the most impact for us first is Ivan Reitman.
Ivan.
Oh.
Right? Ivan Reitman, for those of you who are not aware, you can easily just go on YouTube and just enter his name, and you'll see the incredible list of films and writing.
Legendary filmmaker.
And just involved in every aspect of filmmaking, but notably for us,
Ghostbusters.
because we brought it up so many times. And what's so special about him is the fact that we had suggested a while back the whole premise of the passing of the torch, what I used to call passing the baton.
Now, watch this retro episode here, but it was originally filmed in 2018, well before Ghostbusters
And we
Afterlife
talked
came
about
out.
it again.
Yeah. So the Ghostbusters with Melissa McCarthy had come out,
Yeah.
and it got a lot of criticism, and we were talking about how instead of rebooting completely, they should pass the
just
torch,
passed the
pass the
torch.
baton, whatever you want to call it, and Ghostbusters Afterlife did just that. Now, Afterlife, sadly, was not directed by Evan Reitman, who was not healthy enough to do it, but it was directed by his son, who knew the material from here. It wasn't just, I watched the film.
The
It was-
son. Here's his name right here.
Come on, I'm talking about the legacy here,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, no, I know, but I mean, it's fair that we should name him. And I'm drawing a complete blank, which is horrible dude etiquette. It's like, I feel horrible right now.
Oh, you should feel bad, dude.
I do
you should.
feel bad, and
So-
I know his name, and I know for a fact that I know his name. Here it is again. So continue.
Point being is, the films of Ivan Reitman have had an impact on us. He was a major force predominantly in the 80s for us when we were at that age where you just
Don't mention
absorb
an
it.
age, but we were impressionable.
Impressionable is the word for it.
And it actually did, it did make our views of what comedy is.
Oh yeah,
it had a major
It
impact.
had a
in the
major
type
impact
of
on
films.
our pop culture appreciation.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
A lot of it. So
All right.
very important to us.
Next on the list, Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh,
hilarious comedian. You know what's the funny thing? But if you don't know who Gilbert Gottfried is, he's the little guy who squints a lot, and he talks like this all the time, and he's very angry, and he's the voice of Iago the parrot on Aladdin the cartoons. And the funny thing is, that's not his real voice.
No.
If you watch, he was on Saturday Night Live for like one season or two, and you'll see him on the show. He uses his regular voice, and it's just he at one point created this character that used his voice and got so many laughs. He adopted that persona, and since then, this became Gilbert Gottfried.
That could not have been easy for him just to keep that all. Like if you create a character that is so well known, and that's the expectation.
Oh yeah.
And we're talking even more so in an American market, which ends up being a global market, but specifically in the United States, when you become the it person or the it thing or the it catchphrase, they milk the hell out of that.
But he managed to make a career out of it, because usually these things get old fast. Yeah. And yet for him, it's one moment that stands out for me for Gilbert Gottfried is not long after 9/11 happened. Nothing was funny for a while, right? It was like America had been hit like never before. Everything was dark.
Yeah.
And I remember I watched a film called The Aristocrats. Have you heard of The Aristocrats?
Yes, I know.
It's a famous joke. If you don't know, YouTube The Aristocrats. I'm not going to tell the joke now because it's very prolonged. But anyways, Gilbert Gottfried was invited at this event, and he's doing his bit. And again, people are not feeling the laughs yet. And he starts to do The Aristocrats, which is a legendary stand-up routine.
So essentially,
and
the
he
joke
kind of basically broke the ice.
There's a build up to it.
Oh, don't, yeah.
But I'm just saying, overall, what it is the Aristocrats is that every comedian has their own version of it.
Yes.
That's really important in this context, is to realize that every comedian brings his own sense of humor to that specific joke.
He did his not long after 9/11, and he basically broke the ice and gave people permission to laugh again. He was legendary for that, with that joke, on top of being a voice actor and all these other things. So, Gilbert, we salute you. Ivan, we salute you.
Ivan, yeah, for sure.
Next on the list that stood out is Miss Nichelle Nichols, or Mrs. Nichelle Nichols, Lieutenant Uhura on the original Star Trek series. Now, this actress basically broke ground. If you've never watched the original series, shame on you. But you got to bear in mind, this is in the 1960s, where not that racism is gone now, but racism is a lot more prevalent back then. Segregation is still happening a lot of places.
Segregation is the proper word, because they purposely segregated everybody at that point.
And this is the first time, and I remember seeing an interview, and I think Oprah is the one who said this. They were like, Mom, there's a black woman on TV, and she's not a maid. She's actually
a lieutenant,
an important cast member. She's treated as an equal. And this was groundbreaking for the day, because Star Trek really...
She was lieutenant in the communications, man.
Oh,
That's a huge role.
She was part of the bridge crew,
time.
The main crew. Of course, you had your big, your Kirk, your Spock, your McCoy were the big three, but the rest of the crew were also vital.
Huge, man.
And she was a part of that. And in fact, I'd read a story at one point that after the first season, she wanted to quit the show, and Martin Luther King had gotten in touch with her and told her, please do not stop.
Really? I didn't even know that story. What?
Please do not stop, because you are an inspiration to young black women and black people in general everywhere. And I can't relate to what that must have been like for them, because, not being...
But imagine even just having the foresight of going, in the future...
Oh, yeah.
All of these different people will be working together.
She was a pioneer.
Back in the 60s, just jamming all these people, but even playing her role, it wasn't like what we call a side piece, right? She wasn't just there for...
She wasn't the maid.
No, it wasn't, and it wasn't just for something sexual. It wasn't for something... the maid, it wasn't for the keep, it wasn't for nothing.
She was her own character.
Yeah, and she
and an important character.
So well.
Oh yeah. Not just that she was an important character, she was actually a talented actress.
Oh my God, yeah, she did it.
And she was also she was just groundbreaking and influential. And Nichelle Nichols,
Yeah.
Here's a salute to you.
Salute to you. You will be missed. You know, by a lot of people that looked up to you.
All right, next one. I know this one had a big impact on you. She did on me too. Olivia Newton-John.
Oh. Man, Grease is the word, man.
Grease is the word. Let's get physical, baby.
Oh, let's get physical. I didn't think about that part. Yeah.
Really?
Oh.
Those are the two things that stand up to me. Sandy from Grease and her Let's Get Physical video in, 80 what?
Oh,
Dude,
don't say
80 something. Oh.
You can put it up, dude, but
Yeah.
don't talk about her age at that point. But, yeah, Olivia Newton-John in Grease was, well, I think for the most of the entire world outside of Australia, it was our first introduction to her. But for me, how much of an impact it was when she left us in 2022 is that, okay, you know, remember when he said in a couple of episodes back that we don't share, we don't disclose? Hell, man, we disclose a lot. But here's another disclosure. Wait, beyond Star Wars I've seen more times that I can actually count on my fingers, toes, and his and everybody else's. But in a close, right behind it, at pretty much equal, is Wizard of Oz and Grease.
Grease is the word, baby.
Grease is the word. I watched that movie and I know every single word, every single song. So when I get a chance to watch it, for me it goes by like in 15 minutes. It's like, it's unreal. And I don't know why it had such a massive impact on me as a child. I think it's probably because it was one of the first movies we ever rented at a Blockbuster.
You just dated yourself big time. Was Blockbuster even around when you started renting films?
Yeah. It was huge, man. Or no, it's Jumbo Video.
Jumbo Video.
It's Jumbo Video. Oh my God. So what would happen back in the day is that when you would rent it from Blockbuster, or in that case, Jumbo Video,
Netflix.
Oh, that was later on.
Okay, anyways.
But Jumbo, and the same thing was with Blockbuster, is that you could either rent for 24 hours or the weekend. So my parents, to you would save, in theory, if you rented for the weekend. I think it was like $1 or $2 more. So like, okay, let's go. Let's
3
go
days
for
for
it.
the price of,
So I'm like, okay, damn, man, we just rented a movie, and that's what
Milk
was
it.
the thing. Whatever we would rent, I would do back to back to back to back, and my parents would tell me, okay, you need to go to bed. I'm like, no, we only have it for like 48 hours. I need to jam this in now. So I'm pretty convinced right now, one of the major why is that film was one that we would rent on a regular basis. And at this point, I probably have to ask my mom. I'm not sure if I was the one asking for it or if they were the one renting it. I'm not sure.
You just had a crush on her, didn't you?
But Sandy, man. Oh. Anyways, just to say that was a huge one. Olivia Newton-John, you had an impact. Cheers. Salute to you, man.
Also, this was not a famous actor, actress, whatnot, but we got to mention Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh.
Longest reigning monarch in British history, second longest reigning monarch in the history of the world. She was queen for 70 years. Louis XVI was king for 72. But she had an impact nonetheless. A lot of people were born with the queen and died with the queen.
Well, most people, that's the only person they've ever known.
Yeah, up until recently, that was the only monarch we'd ever known.
The thing is that even for most people, that's what the monarch is.
Yeah, it was the queen.
She established what, like the whole kids in a hall. But that whole image is the queen mom.
She was iconic.
For everybody.
Yeah, well, no, the queen mom was her mother.
No, but I mean, even for her mom, they called her the queen mom.
Yeah.
But when she passed away,
Queen Elizabeth was the mother of England, basically. Yeah.
Well, for anybody in the Commonwealth, because we're in Canada, and for us, I mean, she was on our money. She's everywhere. She's still our queen, and it was a big deal.
It was.
And I remember when she was she was kind of fading away. You know, we're talking end of August, beginning of September when she passed away. It was a big deal. This was like, we knew, obviously, it was going to happen at some point.
She was 96
but
when she
for all
passed.
of us, she's been around literally, like for us, she's been literally around forever.
Oh, yeah.
Our entire lives.
She was always part of the British identity,
So-
part of our Commonwealth background identity.
So that was a massive deal in 2022.
Here's to you, Queen Elizabeth II.
Cheers.
We salute you.
And yeah, proper cheers, pub cheers, English style.
All right.
Hey.
Next on the list, Kevin Conroy. We are such big geeks. We've talked about Batman for so many times.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy was never the physical Batman, but he was the voice of Batman in the animated series and then a bunch of animated films afterwards.
Well,
He's the definitive...
Video games too, no?
Oh, and the video games too.
Yeah.
He is the definitive voice of Batman. He defined the modern Batman genre.
Well, that type of
voice,
deep,
that-
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I was gonna say that
He was
deep
just-
voice and everything.
And he was influential.
Taking on that persona?
When he passed,
Oh my
Mark
God.
Hamill, who famously played the Joker opposite him, said, "You will always be my Batman."
Yeah.
And to be honest, I can totally see that. I still love that animated series. Was so
But,
groundbreaking.
oh my God, it
And
was
Kevin
massive,
Conroy
massive,
was a
massive.
huge part of that. His delivery
Yeah.
and his switch from Batman to Bruce Wayne. It was masterful.
He
and
played
he brought,
both.
Oh, yeah.
So, no, but I mean, they could have taken two different
they could've-
actors,
yeah.
right? Because on film or in TV shows or whatever it may be, okay, yeah, physical changing, putting the cowl on and everything, and you got the cape, and okay, so physically you're taking on this persona, but he did it, man. Like vocally,
And you could
change.
feel the
Yeah,
change
exactly.
with just the
That was
voice.
huge.
And no, he was
He pulled it off
His delivery was
beautifully.
brilliant because while Batman was dark and brutal, he still had a soul. He still had a conscience, and you would get that from the voice, and that is not an easy skill.
No, that is
to
a
do.
voice actor.
Yeah,
big time.
So Kevin Conroy, we salute you.
Yeah, we salute you. Cheers to you.
And last one on our list of notables. There were so many others we couldn't talk about them all, but I had a crush on her. I'm sure you did too. Back in Cheers, when Shelley Long left Cheers, they brought in a new actress by the name of Kirstie Alley, who played Rebecca Howe on Cheers for 7 years.
Yeah.
And she'd been on Star Trek 2, the movie, as Lieutenant Savick. She was recast for 3 because at that point she'd gotten Cheers.
Yeah.
But
She played a Vulcan.
yeah, she was a Vulcan. But
had the ears and
she
everything.
was hilarious.
From day one.
Kirstie
As
Alley-
soon as she stepped on
Oh, yeah.
that first episode, she sold it right away.
Funny story about her when she was cast on Cheers. If you've never watched Cheers, shame on you.
Yeah.
But
Chain.
the first 5 years, the big leads are Ted Danson as Sam Malone and Shelley Long as Diane Chambers. And when Diane left, they wanted to mix things up and not bring in the same type of character. So they brought in Kirstie Alley to be this corporate bitch.
Yeah.
First day she showed up on set, she wanted to break the ice with the cast and be welcome. She dressed like Diane Chambers. She put on a wig.
I see, I
and
didn't
she
even know
dressed-
that. Oh, there's
she
full
dressed up
first
like
for me.
like the Diane
Really?
character and showed up just to break the ice with them. And
That's
apparently the
awesome.
cast laughed
Yeah.
their asses off,
That's
and they were
awesome.
like, "Welcome,
Yeah.
you've got a sense of humor."
Yeah.
And she played I don't know. I'm sure she got nominated. I don't know if she won awards. Cheers won so many.
I
awards.
want to say she did win.
If she didn't win, I know she was
let's
nominated.
do-
Most of them were. Dude, let us know the stats.
a little
Sorry,
bit
dude.
more,
Yeah.
a little bit more research.
But I fell in love with the character and the actress because she played such a beautiful balance between authoritative figure
Completely neurotic.
and neurotic, crazy, insecure
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, and she's
And-
super.
Oh,
Like,
and you cared about her even though she was bitchy at first, and eventually, when her ice wall, because she was very cold at first,
Yeah.
when it broke, you really got to love this character and care for her. But even at first, when she was cold, you still cared because you were like, oh, she's going to be an interesting foil, because that's what the show needed. Another foil for Sam.
But I found what I found really interesting about her character is how well she gelled with everybody else, even though she was supposed to be like this complete outsider.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Even more so than even Diane, because Diane was a complete different kind of outsider, but she was a corporate kind of thing, and she's cold, and Sam had just sold the bar, so she was coming in to run the place and the whole thing. But when she came in, she was this attractive, well-dressed, own her shit.
80s power shoulders.
But it was like, okay, oh my God, I can't, like, you're not gonna F with this person. This is she's very intimidating in the role. Super funny, but still intimidating. But what you were saying is that when that thing came out, when that wall broke, when the ice melted a bit,
the facade, yeah, cracks.
and then you saw how sweet and insecure she was. She wasn't just that hot corporate kind of power suit thing. She became beautiful at that point.
Yeah.
Her personality and who she was and how she delivered, she went from that character to just a beautiful person. And I was blown away by that. But the comedic style was still always there. Constant.
She was spot on and meshed so well with the cast.
God, the back and forth, and it was just unreal.
So Kirstie Alley, here's to you.
Cheers to you.
And to all the others we haven't mentioned who are talented, we miss you. We love you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for
You've
the memories.
Obviously influenced us, right, in so many different ways. We talked about the ones that, for us, had a personal, we had either a personal bond or we influenced us in some way or another. But everybody else that we've shown you, that we've squirreled through.
Dude's gonna have squirreled to the graphic, isn't he?
No, don't do that. That'd be disrespectful. Don't do that. Please don't. Okay, I know I screwed up the word, but don't, let it go. But all these different people entertain us and give us joy and give us those moments of escapism, and we appreciate it. And one of the main reasons why we have a Lazyboys night and we just love to talk to you is for those exact same reasons. We want to give not only ourselves a little bit of escapism, we want to give you some escapism. So cheers to you. Cheers to everybody else that came and left us, and we appreciate all of you. So we'll see you next week. Cheers. Dude.
Like, share, subscribe.
Oh, that's super important. Always do that. Caring is sharing. Sharing is caring. Back and forth. Just share.
What he said.
Cheers.